Steve, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man.
Very welcome. Anytime, please.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just thought with it being 25-year anniversary of Pressure Tech this year and in 2025, it'd be a good time to rewind the clock and just ask, how did Pressure Tech come about?
It probably came about further than 25 years ago. When I was at school, I remember that I had this vision of starting my own business. I don't know where it stemmed from, but I do remember one lesson where the school had arranged for the local bank managers to come in, do a presentation on business and finance generally, and asked we're in the lecture theatre, how many people want to start their own business, and my hand went straight up and sort of turned around expecting everybody behind me to have the same sort of views on things. But I think there was 3 of us in the lecture theatre that wanted to become business entrepreneurs or business people and start their own business.
That's amazing.
So that was it was just finding the right opportunity, the right time to sort of step into that, and that came to fruition in sort of 2000. I'd worked for a competitor of ours at the time, and I felt there was an opportunity for a European manufacturer to offer the range of products that generally had come from the USA before then. And also at the time there was globalization, the internet was really becoming mainstream sort of technology, the World Wide Web, etc. So that access to the world is just the right time and the right place to create Pressure Tech.
Amazing. So in those early days, are there any moments or challenges that spring to mind?
There's a lot of challenges, and there's been challenges, over those 25 years as the business has grown. The starting point for Pressure Tech was coming up with the business plan and the product range to actually get into the marketplace. So I created that literally from home in my kitchen, sort of creating the designs. I worked with a retired gentleman called Keith, who came in, and on a Saturday morning we would go through, my concepts, and we'd formalise it and strengthen it with proper CAD drawings and designs and calculations that Keith was able to bring to the table. And then behind that, as I say, I created the business plan, and I had to go out to the business angels, to the banks, to customers, suppliers, anybody that would listen to me and sort of have the same vision that I had for starting that Pressure Tech range of pressure regulators. And one gentleman, Phil at Hydrotron, who was a customer of mine at the time, provided a bit of equity and an office space within his facility to help me get the business off the ground, and that was the starting point for it, really. And we started with a basic range of products, and it was a one-man band operation. Christine, obviously at the time, was doing the accounts for us, but it was the ownership was with Hydrotron, who had 50%, and then I had the other 50%. And then, as the business grew, we expanded and needed a larger facility, and there was a unit, an industrial unit in Glossop that was on the market, and we moved into that facility. And at some point we wanted to do our own machining, so up until that point we were subcontracting all the parts out. We didn't have the cash to invest in CNC machinery, so we were subcontracting parts. And with Christine bought Phil's share of the business, and we brought it into the family, so it became Christine and myself as the shareholders. That was around 2005, and we started machining the components ourselves, and it's grown from there to what we have now.
So like you say, you started off as such a small business. At what point did you start to realise that your business had the true potential of your business? When did you feel that?
I guess the first milestone, if you like, or the key point for Pressure Tech, thinking, we now have a customer in effect, was it was an online auction process for an annual contract or an annual usage of pressure regulators. And so we were bidding until we just secured the project, because it was 100 regulators or 200 regulators, whatever it was, for the year, and we just had that base customer to build on. And then there's been other key milestones. There was an inquiry that had been received from South Korea. Again, the strength of the World Wide Web and the internet and Google or whatever it was at the time. And we received an inquiry. I went out to South Korea, visited the customer, and we secured the project for about 350 regulators. Fantastic. That were actually installed on a ballast system. So on the ship, as it's filled with its goods, it's maybe oil or whatever, it has to stabilize the ship, and the ballast does that, and the regulators we use to control that system. So 350 regulators there, and then the next key milestone was a project that we secured for Brazil, Petrobras in Brazil on FPSOs. There was 500 hydraulic regulators, £500,000 contract, and so each sort of step has been a bigger step and a more stronger realization that this business has the potential to grow.
That's incredible. So to start from that home business to grow to what you're saying now, and now, like you say, as I said earlier, you're celebrating 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what for those 25 years, what are you most proud of, and what do you think has kept Pressure Tech so strong all this time?
I think there's two key aspects to the strength of the business and being proud of the business. One is the product range that we've developed over the years. We've designed the products with unique features, that either make the product last longer, make it more stable, or make it easier to service. So that creativity in the products gives us the ability to sell and explain the features and benefits to the customer. And then behind that is the team that have helped create that product range. So everybody that is employed at Pressure Tech makes a difference to the business and strengthens the business. So it's the people and the product range combined with now 25 years of experience make it a really rock solid foundation on which to build. There's still huge growth potential for the business. And we've just recently acquired a new property on the same industrial estate to support that future growth. In fact, it gives us treble the capacity as to what we have now as far as the production throughput and greater office space for the 50 employees that we now have within the company.
Wow! So you've gone from a one-man band to 50 employees now.
Yeah, and
three times the capacity.
Exactly, and that's again. Still huge potential to take that to another level, almost doubling that capacity. We're still tip of the iceberg with the pressure regulator product range that we've got, and we continue to invest in new products and developing new markets. The hydrogen fuel cell more recently, we've been working heavily on that. We've been developing a range of spec gas regulators which complement our existing portfolio of products. And strengthening our position in the USA with an office facility over there to provide assembly, testing and servicing. So
it's incredible. So you truly are a global company now. I believe you just won an award as well. Is that right?
We have, yeah. We won the award for High Peak and Glossop as a large business. So a great recognition for the team for the work that we've done with all that export business as well from here in Glossop. It's real accolade for the company and perfect timing with combining that with our 25-year anniversary.
That certainly sounds well deserved to me. That's brilliant. Oh, well, listen, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the insight into 25 years of the business.
Yeah, there's a lot more we could cover, but
it's fantastic. We'll have to cover that again in another chat.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, look forward to it.
Well, listen, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Okay, Pete. Anytime.